Long before we explore the essence of people's dreams like we did in Inception, we first did it in Dreamscape. That came out in 1984, starring Dennis Quaid, Kate Capshaw, Max von Sydow, Christopher Plummer, George Wendt, and David Patrick Kelly, and let's not forget Eddie Albert as the president. This movie came out in August of 1984, and Nightmare on Elm Street came out in November of 1984. I wouldn't say this was a total copy. I wouldn't say the plot is too similar to Nightmare on Elm Street. It is similar, but not a total copy. In some ways it's similar, in some ways it's different. While Nightmare on Elm Street is regarded as a horror classic, I think Dreamscape was a mild hit. It wasn't quite the hit that Nightmare on Elm Street was. It was entertaining, but I don't know if it was quite in that awesome same category as A Nightmare on Elm Street. Not the last time movies with similar premises were released in the same year. I'm sure we know these two, don't we? Definitely this too. Oh, and who can forget these two also. Oh, right, back to the review. Dreamscape stars Dennis Quaid as Alex Gardner, a gifted young psychic who basically can see things before they happen. He's also an occasional mind reader, as explained later, and he basically uses his abilities just to get rich quick schemes, like win bettings at horse races. He is recruited by Paul Novotny, played by Max von Sydow, who wants to help people with their problems by having a way to dream link with people. And he asks Alex, who knew Paul years ago, to come aboard. Alex doesn't want to, but because of his money troubles, he is brought up. He is talked into it. But then there's Bob Blair, played by Christopher Plummer, who wants to use the dream sequence for his own purposes. And Bob Blair is with the government, and I'd rather not say any more what he wants to do with it. And then there's Tommy Ray, played by David Patrick Kelly. Often such a talented, underrated actor. he's pretty good. First time you meet him, you know something's off about him. And how will this all come into play? Well, I won't tell you anymore. I'll just let you see the movie to find out. Dreamscape was a pretty entertaining film. It does do its best to explore what nightmare images are like, and exploring why we're having so troubled with life. Because of what's in our nightmares. Dennis Quaid is pretty good, and I like David Patrick Kelly. He kind of steals some scenes as Tommy Ray. Ironically, he says he saw Enter the Dragon 6 times with Bruce Lee, and it's ironic he played a thug in the movie The Crow, which starred Bruce Lee's son Brandon. And Kate Capshaw was okay as Jane, sort of one of the science researchers at the place, who ends up sort of being a love interest for Alex, but I'd rather not go into details. Also, George Wendt was good as author Charlie Prince, and not to mention Eddie Albert as the president really gives a pretty heartfelt performance as a president who's troubled by nightmares. Really good film. I say this is a good 80s film. I give it a 9 out of 10 if you're good for the horror genre. Bye-bye.